When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you are in the championship rounds with King Amin of Essex. And as I continue to
Okay.
grow, I fashion myself as the warden of women's boxing. I feel honored to have true champions, fighters, legends, all sorts of dignitaries within the sport. I appreciate their participation in what I'm doing. And today I have earned some sparring with the one and only um, former WBO 154-pound and super welterweight division champion, but she's the current IBO and IBF unified champion from Belgium, Femke Hermans. Did I get it correct?
Yes, very correct.
All right.
Very good.
So let's get started. Here's my biggest question, and I gotta know, what's the
Mhm.
difference between Belgium, Austria, and Germany? What's the real difference?
We speak multiple languages in Belgium, I think.
Okay,
No, yeah, it's a, we are like there are bigger countries than us, but
sure.
I think we are for being a small country, we are investing a lot in really different sports and everything. And yeah, for the rest, I'm not a big visitor of Austria or Germany, so I
Sure.
don't know.
Well, and your countrywoman Delphine Persoon is also
Yes.
a very legendary fighter. She's got a
Hmm.
bout with Alicia Bumgarner coming up. But yes,
Yeah.
and so I asked that question because Belgium reminds me of from New Jersey in the United States. So New York City is the biggest city in the world. Everybody loves New
Hmm.
York City. But New Jersey is kind of in the background. We're a very small state right next to it. And people will say, if you say, I'm from New Jersey, oh, you're from New York.
Yeah,
So I can imagine maybe people you say, no, I'm from Belgium. They may say, oh, she's German. If they see the flag and they don't recognize the
yeah.
distinction in the color placement, they just group you in. So kudos to you for standing out, right? We're
Yes,
small, but we're strong, right?
yeah, very strong.
Yes, yes. So let's talk
Mhm.
about it. What I didn't find is I don't know your amateur background. Do you have a strong amateur background, or tell me a little bit more about your amateur experience?
I've not a big amateur career because I started really late boxing. I started at 24
Hmm.
and I had, I think, 1 year and a half as an amateur. So I have only 12 or 13 fights in amateur. I won 11 of 13. And from the 11, I won 8 with KO. I'm two times Belgian champion and one time Benelux champion.
Hmm.
But then I was like in heavy, I was in the 75 kilos, and I in that time women's boxing was also not as it is now. Now it's
Definitely.
getting a big thing, but then it was difficult. The national team was not really busy with women fighting neither. So for me, it was a choice like I'm going to stop, or my trainer wanted me to go pro, and I was like, "Ooh, only 13 fights, already pro." But yes, we tried and see now.
So let's talk about that. You started late at 24. What was Femke
Yeah,
doing? Were you playing other sports? Were you
yeah.
just living life? Were you a musician? Like what were you have going on?
No, I've always been in sports. I went to school also sports, but then when I went to university, I was always football, football, football. But
Mm.
in university, I had an accident, and then I was like 6, 7 months out, and then I was a bit sick of it. All the sports, all the injuries, everything. But yeah, 1 year without sports, gaining some weight and missing the sports. And I decided to go back to football. I played at the not a bad level, but I was missing something in training, and that's what I decided to go boxing to because they say conditionally it's one of the best sports. Yeah, I started and it was like, yeah, I couldn't stop anymore. I did 1 year of boxing competition and in amateurs and football at the same moment. So I did like in the morning on Saturday a match football, and then in the evening I went for a fight boxing. But then I chose boxing because it's like, yeah, when you start, you love it and you just want to continue.
I know the feeling. And when you mention football, I'm thinking about one of your contemporaries. We'll talk about later too, Natasha Jonas. I'm wondering if I had to set you guys up in a penalty kick, like situation, like who would win. But we'll talk about that
Yeah.
later. So you fell in love with boxing. Did you have any exposure to it, like growing up? Siblings, dad, somebody, or just
No, because
no?
I'm really one of the only one in our family who went to a sports school. I had it from the beginning. I always wanted to be outside, do sports and everything. And then when I sat at home, I was going to box. My mother said it's good that you're already out of the home because otherwise you wouldn't do it. So yeah, it's just for me, sports has always been important. I always liked it. But if I see all the sports that I've done at school, I've been snowboarding also. I also liked a bit more the extreme sports.
Hmm.
But boxing is the sport where I find everything in. It's like you have the explosivity, you have the strength, the condition. You also need your head. It's not like some people say, yeah, you're just banging to each other. It's not. Sometimes it's like chess, you see, if you're boxing. So for me, it's the most complete sport that I've done already.
I totally agree. Totally
Mm.
agree. Now let's talk about that quick start because you said you only spent about a year and some change in the amateurs. You
Mm-hmm.
went right to the pros, right? Um,
Yeah.
January 23rd, 2016, you made your pro debut, and from there you went 6-0. So you really hit the ground running, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you said in women's boxing, because what happens is there's not much, especially in those days too. It kind of just got popular with
Mm-hmm.
Claressa Shields and Francois Cruz and that bout, and you had Savannah Marshall in the undercard of Floyd Mayweather, kind of. So it was peaking in little places.
Yeah.
You had Amanda Serrano doing her thing, Heather Hardy, had Katie Taylor turning, but you kind of were in the background making things happen and landed yourself in a title bout in your seventh fight against Alicia Napoleon. All right.
Mm, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
do you remember? Now, it was your first world, you challenged for a world title in your seventh bout.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
like,
That's true.
were you like excited? Were you surprised it came that fast? Or were you just feeling like, I'm here, I'm ready?
No, I was really at one side you're surprised because you're thinking, okay, but I did the WBF International the year in the beginning of that year, of the year before, and I knew it will come early because in women's boxing you don't go to 20, 30 fights before you have a big fight. And I was really prepared, but it was the most horrible day of my life
Well,
because
yeah,
uh,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, yeah, I entered New York because it was New York, and yeah, 3 days before the fight, the weather changed because it was snowing at once, and I was not prepared, and I became sick because after the fight I was 4 weeks at home with pneumonia. So felt it in the first round. I was already sick. Ali was already not feeling well and everything. So I just said to my corner, I'm going to finish the fight. I want to finish the fight. I want to take the experience and everything, and then we will see.
Now, no wonder why you gave me a look when I said New York, the greatest city. You said, I don't think so. You
Yeah.
you 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 don't have that
No.
relationship with New York, huh? Well, listen, you again, you said, and we know about women's boxing, these opportunities they come.
Mhm.
So then the next title bout you end up in is Claressa Shields. This is December 8th of 2018. Now Shields is 7-0. She's undefeated. Her journey and the popularity is, kind of different. What was it like for you, the experience going into that bout?
Yeah, it was really, I was really impressed by her career and everything. And for me, the most important when I started as a pro and when I started boxing, I said always to my trainer, for me, I don't want to, because if you fight in Belgium, it's not always easy to find good opponents because we don't have the money to invest a lot. So it's not always good. But I said when I want to go for titles, when I want to work to get bigger and better, I want to fight the best. And then they presented me Claressa Shields. I was like, yeah, hell, of course I want to fight Claressa Shields. She's the best in the world. So I want to see what I can do. What if I have a good level, if I her level, if I'm a bit lower, can I finish the fight? You see, for me, that was like really a test for me. This, where am I in this world of boxing? So yeah,
That's great
but
perspective because, um, and I want to ask too because I skipped over something because you became the WBO champ in May of
it's super
2018.
middle. Yeah, it's super
Yes.
middle.
So tell me about that bout because that was that like the
The,
moment that I did it. I became a pro. But what was that moment like for you?
oh, it was a great moment because when I started fighting, and yeah, you're European, and I know, yeah, Nikki Adler was there, you see, and we asked already for a fight. She always refused and everything. But then when I lost from Napoleon, she was immediately there to say, I want to fight you. But I knew in my head, like, yeah, okay, you saw the fight of Napoleon, but well, I was sick, you see. I was not well. So, of course, I want to do this fight. I had a good preparation. I will continue. And then I went to Germany, and it was like, yeah, I found a nice club to train the week before, and I was really feeling well. Even Germans were supporting for me. And then, yeah, I felt in the beginning of the fight already that, yeah, I was faster, I was as her and everything. I could put more of the combinations. And then, at the end of the fight, I'm winning, I'm winning. It's not possible that I not win this fight. And it was a unanimous decision. So, yeah, that's great.
And new.
Yeah.
That was a great feeling, right?
Yeah, of course.
Now, going back to the Shield, did you have to vacate the WBO when you took the
Yep.
Shields fight?
Yeah, because
So,
it was in middle, so they left me the choice. But yeah, I said, yeah, when I'm fighting Shields for all the belts, so yeah, of course I'm going to leave my belt. And at that moment, we were also financial not strong enough to defend the WBO title, so I had to wait for an opportunity. So it was, yeah, the right choice to vacant it again.
wow. And and I know when people listen back to this, they're going to listen to this trajectory. And like you said, it takes sometimes on the men's side, I think 30 fights for a fighter to experience any of this, if at all, respectfully. All right. So am I lying?
No, no, of course
Okay.
not.
Okay. Because that's one thing I don't do. I don't lie. Now, we're moving along because you talked about opportunities, defending the belts. You moved on from that, and you have an amazing sense of resiliency because then you fight Elin Cederroos, who would go on to become unified. Every time, like your name is being mentioned, and we're going to get to how this makes your story so amazing. But Claressa Shields, I mean, we can still count Elisa Napoleon. She was a highly touted fighter. Nikki Adler, highly touted fighter. You got Claressa Shields. Enough said. Now you're here with Elin Cederroos. How did this opportunity befall you?
Yeah, it was in Belgium because there was a promoter, a manager, because he's now the promoter of that night, that boxing night. He's now my manager also.
Wow.
But we were already we had a good connection and everything. And he said, yeah, my his brother Bilal Lagoon was fighting for an IBF. So if you want, I can put you also. I've also already an opponent, Elin Cederroos. Are you interested? And for me, I said, yeah, of course I'm interested in Belgium, in my own country. Who doesn't want to become a world champion in his own country? So I said yes. But the fight didn't go as planned, and I didn't lost my fight from Cederroos, but I lost my fight from myself at that
Mm,
point because I was already in a stadium after the fight with Shields. I realized that, yeah, I was clearly, she won everything, but I knew there was more left in me than what I was doing at that moment, at training and everything. And I took the fight at the wrong moment when I was not as happy anymore with my team. So I felt it in the fight. I had lost from myself because everybody was saying, yeah, you have to go, you have to go. If you can finish her, you will finish her before the fifth round. So I was giving everything, everything, everything. And then the fifth round came. and she doesn't went down, but yeah, she's like a big tree. You can chop a big tree like that. So yeah, and then after it became difficult, I was throwing myself in the fight and everything. I did it by heart, but I felt that I lost the fight. But
And you were
I
at
think
168. This was a, you know, you moved
yeah.
up significantly.
Yeah, I was, yeah, it was at high weight. And I realized after the fight, when I lost the fight, that I had to make some decisions. And at the moment that I made a split with my team, I decided to work differently. And yeah, that I just want to become another type of boxer. Because in the beginning of my career, I was like, yeah, puncher. I stand still. I didn't move. I just came forward with big blows and everything. Like if you see now the fights with Spencer, I'm a complete different boxer now.
Definitely, definitely. And
Mhm.
we're working our way to that. And before we get there, I want to ask you, do you think that the way things worked out for you, do you think they're a product of something higher than us spiritual, or do you think this is just hard work and opportunity? You earned it, you deserve it, and this is what's happening, or somewhere in between? Because, like I said, title shots upon, and we know that title shots happen early in women's boxing, but kind of not
Mhm.
like this because a
Mhm.
lot of fighters aren't even ready. So what do you think? Do you think this is just you've earned it and you've got what you deserved, or do you think you've gotten a little bit of extra, extra something?
What I can say is that, like, it's, yeah, for me, I always stay with the same sentence, and that is, work always will be talent. So I'm sure that I've done a lot of work in the last few years to become a better boxer, that for sure. But also, after I quit my team, after I lost the IBF title, I had a new trainer, and I must say that the best moment in my life, that's when my trainer died in
Mm.
one of my training camps. So, and I had to go without wanting to another club, and there I found the trainer where I'm now still training with who I am two-time world champion. So I think it's, for me, it's like hard work, but also combination with
Wh-
destiny, that I
Yeah.
had to meet this trainer to become better, to become a better boxer.
And relationships create destiny, and
Mm.
you've had some good relationships, some you've had to change, but some that
Mhm.
have helped supported you to get to this point. So
Mhm.
you have to, whatever your recipe is, don't change it. Don't change
No.
it because you've been doing great. Now, after the Cederroos fight, you go on a 3-fight win streak. Then we come to April 2nd of 2022. Savannah Marshall. So you're still hanging up at this high weight, and that's what I noticed. You're fighting at which again, it happens in women's boxing, but um, yeah, Savannah Marshall, another name who's gone on to become every time we mention, right?
Mm.
How did that fight come about?
But we were already talking for that fight more than a year, I think. And normally it was planned the moment that um, uh, I did my defense against her from my IBO, the Norwegian girl.
Cozen?
No, no,
No, not
no.
Cozen.
I did the defense in Belgium against her last year for my IBO title. Um, oh, Lindberg, Maria Lindberg.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had to fight her, and Maria Lindberg replaced me because at the moment we had to leave, my manager had COVID. So we
Ooh,
were put in quarantine, and I couldn't go to the fight. We were going for the airport, and then Lindberg replaced me 3 days before the fight with Marshall. Then they asked me again. It was like not enough preparation time and everything. And then the year after, finally, I had my fight with Savannah Marshall. And I think it is the fight that I would like to do over. I
rematch.
don't think, now I'm super welter. I don't think the going to super middle is middle maybe, but super middle is too high for me. I can't go to that weight anymore. But that's really a fight that I want to do again because
You got a new
uh,
style.
I have a new style. Not only that, my style was already at that moment there because I was really there. But same, in the end, it was the same scenario as in New York. I when I left here at the airport, normally it was a trip for 4 hours from Belgium to England, but we had problems at the airport. We had to stay overnight. Then we had to go to Germany, had a flight to England, another flight in England to get over there. So I took more than 24 hours to get there, and I was really sick. I'm already really pale, but then I was like transparent. But I said I'm not going to quit this fight. I'm going to do this fight. I want to do this fight. But yeah, you know, if you're not feeling well, punches feel 10 times harder. And that's what I felt from the first round with Marshall. That like I came to the corner and I said, she's killing me with her blows. So I have to excavate and try to do what I can. But I think if it was in the second round or in the fourth or in the fifth or in the 10th, I think the result would be always the same. And that's why I really would like a rematch with her, because at my full force, I don't know, but maybe it will be another result.
Well, don't be surprised because I'm just being honest because, you know, I cover this sport. Savannah Marshall is doing absolutely nothing at 168. She's went over to the PFL and tried to see, and I understand that sometimes as fighters, male or female, you have a limited window of opportunity, so you got to do what makes money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not going to defend the titles at 168, you're kind of holding up the division, holding up Franchon Crews-Dezurn,
Yeah.
holding up Shadeja Green. If you don't want to do any business at 160, excuse me, at 168, come down to 160 and make
Mm-hmm.
a mega fight or a great fight, you know? So, you know,
Yeah.
I guess that's just the two of us that want that fight, but I'm sure others might want it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now we come to the climactic moment. This is the
Mm-hmm.
fight where I told you, I saw you and I said, yo, this girl is boxing her head off. Because Mary Spencer, they made her to be a big deal, knockout punch her up in Canada. And she was 7-0 at the time. And I'm like, yo, that's Femke. And remember, me watching the fight, I'm saying, that's the girl that was in there with Savannah Marshall. That's the girl that was in there with Elin Cederroos. That's the girl that was in there with Claressa Shields. I said, Spencer doesn't have a chance. She doesn't have the experience. I swear to you, I said that. And I watched you dance, effing dance. I don't want to use bad words, but I watched you dance and pop and dance. Your corner was laughing. It just seemed like you was having a great time.
Yeah, very great time.
Tell me about it. You look great. That's your moment.
Yeah,
That's your fight.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, the changes were already there. I was becoming another athlete already at the fight with Marshall, but yeah, okay, it was what it was. But I said I'm on a good way because the first round, 2 rounds with Marshall, I was like winning also. I was like already. She said it to me after the fight. Marshall, she said, "Yeah, we prepare for you, but you are not in far the boxer that we saw on videos and everything." I said, "No, I'm changing. I'm going down in weight. I want to do it different." So it was already there. So I just continued. Then Spencer came and I said, like, I have to take this opportunity because she will take me as an easy one. She knows I'm a good name to box because I have there with the big girls. Okay, my results are not always there, but I have good name to fight to, you see. And that's what they were saying also, because when I came at arrived at Canada, they're really respectful for me and everything. But they were like, yeah, when we do the press conference, tell that you're here for winning. And I looked like him, like, I am here for winning. I'm not here to be just part of it. And you saw, because I was there, for me, I knew it could change my career and give it a new fire. And I was really, really prepared for this fight. And I said it to her: if you want to dance, we will dance. If you think you punch me out, we will see it in a fight. And I think I showed already in the second round that it is my punch that hurt her
Yes.
more than the other side. So
And
she's a really big girl and she's a really good
yes.
fighter. But yeah, if it is against a statistic girl who doesn't move, she can develop all of her powers. But that is the problem with me, I think.
Now, do you
Mm.
dance? Are you like in your outside of boxing? Like, do you dance?
No,
Because you
I'm
can
very,
move.
I, I'm a very bad dancer. I have two left feet to dance. But yeah, it's like in the ring, the ring is my home, you see. It's really difficult for us in Belgium as a fighter, as a boxer, because we don't have a lot of support. But I love it. And when my song plays, when I arrive at that ring, I'm like, I'm home. I'm like to be here. I like to fight. And it is. It's for me, it doesn't matter who it is. It can be the biggest name, the smallest name. I take every fight at a time and I just want to enjoy myself.
Yes, because you did. Because in that bout, you won the IBO.
The IBO, yeah.
Yes. And you went on to defend it a couple times, which was good.
One time, yeah,
One
yeah,
time, right?
yes, in
Now,
Belgium.
here's what I said. I said, Spencer's making a huge mistake. No fights in between. She thought she was going to get right back
Mhm.
in the ring with you.
Yeah.
And the outcome was the same, although one of the judges had to be in somebody's pocket because her draw scorecard was ridiculous. Nobody saw
Hmm.
that. But did you feel like there could be a potential mistake with the judges or anything when you went back because you saw like she ain't taking no warmer, she just wants you back there so bad?
Mm.
Did you have a feeling of, some sort of something, or were you still confident?
Well, the thing is, I know, and especially I hear it a lot in Belgium also that yeah they don't like to go abroad because with the judges it's always difficult. But yeah, for me, I won my title in Germany, WBO. I won my title IBO in Canada. I won the IBF IBO in Canada. So for me, it's and always on points, never with knockout. So for me, I don't want to think before a fight like, oof, I'm already ahead because or already after because yeah, the judges yes at their home. I don't care. For me, I'm free. I I enjoyed the fight against Ninsberg in Belgium because it was for my own crowd, defending my world title. It's something, yeah, you want to do, but I prefer to box at another country, to be the underdog and just seeing what happens. But yeah, the judges, it's I felt in the fight, it was another fight. Everybody thought, oh, we are just going to continue. But I knew also she had another trainer, the care and everything. She
Mm.
would come, she would analyze all of my fight, the fight we had and everything. So she would come different in the fight. I knew that. So I trained also different to see, because I know I saw some free videos from her. She was always digging the bag at body level, you see. So I knew I have to be careful because she will want to dig me out at body level to take my breath away and everything. So I train also different. I said it's not because I'm world champion that it's finished. I need to improve, still improve. So I knew the first two, 3 rounds is difficult, but then when I get my pace, I can get let my hands go. We just came back to the first fight, and I could just go faster and as her. And yeah, if you have then the cars, then you have the first one 95, 95. I was really like, shit, this is not good. This is
That
not good.
Martha Tremblay, she was saying,
Yeah.
no Martha Tremblay. We don't want her
Yeah.
anymore.
Because the thing was, 2 days before the fight, we like heard like a rumor, like yeah, they are going to make you lose the fight or like a draw because they want the third fight with you. It's like no, we are not liking, but I'm going to do this fight. We're not talking already about the third fight. I'm going to win this fight. So we did it, and when the first judge said 95, I said, oh shit, this is not good news. But yeah, then the other two, they were the correct score, I think.
Yes.
So for me, it was well. And afterwards, we went to go check. And the judge who gave me 95, 95, this judge always is a judge in the casino in Montreal.
Mm,
So I'm like, sorry, but it's, yeah. But for me, I don't care. I've done what I have to done. I have the result that I deserved, and that's the most important.
absolutely. And you, that was like the exclamation point. Like, yes, not only did I come to
Mm,
your hometown, I won, no controversy. So now
mm,
this is what now the 154-pound division. I told you I've been paying attention. There are some
mhm,
fights or fighters out there. I don't know what you
mhm.
have next, but I'm just thinking, maybe you want to tell me, or maybe I should ask.
But
Anything
yeah,
next
the
on the
thing is,
horizon?
yeah, the thing is, in November, when the fight between Cousin and Ranking was there for the two belts, I was over
Yes.
there. I was in England. I went into the ring. I went to Cousin when she won, and she said, "I want to fight her." She said yes to me.
Hmm.
But then you know how it goes. I said, "No, I want to do first an easy fight. I want to defend my title before I will fight you to unificate." Okay, we wait. Then the IBF came with the Mexican girl. She was my first challenger. We had an agreement. We should fight the 5th of October to defend the titles. But like 3 weeks ago, she pulled her out of the fight because of an eye injury or something like that. And now we are busy with Oshae Jones, who is the next in challenger.
Whoa! You listen. I don't know if you've been paying attention. I've been calling for that fight. And here's why. Because I think now here's the bottom line. Whether anybody knows or not, and you're still fighting, but you're a living legend. Because like I said, you can tell a person is legendary by who they faced. And if you look at Claressa Shields and you think she's great, you can look at her resume and said, look at the fighters she's fought that's gone on to become world champions. And I'm talking to one. So that makes you look at it's Savannah Marshall. She's supposed to be so great. Look at the fighter she's fought that's going on to become world champion. So when I say that, I'm looking and I'm saying, in the women's boxing game, it happens fast. Oshae Jones, she's either ready now or she's going to get a lesson. And there's one thing about her punches. She doesn't quite turn them over. I'm not really sure about her conditioning, but man, Femke, you know, you're a professor, you know, and you know, there are people that are gonna be like, yo, she's young and she's the power, but I don't know, Femke. I think you revel in this moment because people are gonna think you're the underdog, and here you go again, coming to upset the apple cart. When is this fight happening?
For me, just I really, really, really want to fight again. I'm really missing the experience of fighting, going into the ring. It's almost, yeah, I did a small fight in January, but nothing spectacular. So yeah, I'm just happy to. We are still negotiating, and we will see
Awesome.
where it ends. But I just want to fight. I wanted to fight against Cousin to unify belts. I wanted to fight Harper, but she's going down again. But she doesn't
Yeah.
want to leave her belt. So it's really problematic because she had won her wild card or whatever it is, a special thing that she could, when she lost last time, she could anyway left get her title. She still had it.
Yeah.
Now she's going down again, so I think she needs to vacate it so we can fight or add it to unification. But yeah, okay, Cousin doesn't want to fight. Normally she had to fight today, Brackus, but it's also cancelled. So yeah, well, we will see. But now I'm hoping that we can find an agreement with Jones, and we will see. And for me, every fight is a new fight, a clean sheet. It's not because I'm the world champion that I'm the better boxer or I have more chances. For me, every fight is from zero. And I'm just happy to, yeah, that we can find. Normally, if we find an agreement, he would should be in America in November.
And if it's in America, it might be in Atlanta, not in New York. I'm gonna let the people know. Femke
No,
is not coming to New York. The cold weather.
no.
We don't want no
Don't want to go to New
problems.
York.
Atlanta be
No.
more seasonable, you know?
Yeah, it would
Trust
be
me,
in
I'll put in a
Cleveland,
good word.
apparently. It would be in Cleveland, apparently.
Yes. Okay.
Because they first said October Atlanta, but now they asked, so no, we would like to have it in November in Cleveland.
Oh,
So,
awesome. That's a hometown fight for her. Okay.
mm,
So yeah, you know what? That's so great because I was thinking to myself, and you answered all what I was going to ask because I said I know Natasha Jonas is the lineal 154. She's got the ring belt,
mhm,
and what'll probably happen is they'll probably try to make her someone's mandatory for the WBA, or I think Oshae, she may be like number 6 in the WBA. So I would like to
mhm,
see the WBA on the line between you and Oshae. I think that would be great.
mhm.
You know,
But
but yeah.
I heard, I saw, because yeah, it's Yeah, that Spencer's going to fight for the WBA interim. So when it's be vacated, I think she will have it.
And then you got to go back and get it from her again.
Yeah.
Well, you know another bout that's happening this weekend. You mentioned Emma Kozin, and since you are a believer of destiny, maybe destiny has prevented her from traveling stateside because she ain't in the bout no more. So now you have the former undisputed welterweight champ Cecilia Brækhus versus Maricela Cornejo.
Camille.
Yeah, so they are fighting for a interim WBC,
Yeah.
and maybe eventually things will get sorted out. But wow, again, I think that you are poised to, unify or undispute unless, the fight with Kozin never happens, because sometimes we do say that about fighters that fight in certain parts of Europe. They never, the farther east they are, they never make it over stateside. They never even make it to England to defend the title.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Kozin does, bring it, a little bit further, so that way we can actually see those belts get the opportunity to, find a new home, or for her to, remind them why they should be so comfortable at home. But
Yeah.
did you pick anybody in this week's bout between Cornejo and Brækhus? Do you have a dog in the
No.
race, so to speak?
I think Brækhus will do her thing, and she will win the fight, I think. Because for her is also like I think getting one of her last chances to become a world champion again. So she will be prepared. I don't know, Corneo, she stepped in at the last moment. Will be she prepared enough? Because okay, Brækhus, she's at 40, but you have the experience. You see, you have. And that's what we are seeing now also. Females, female boxing, we are all past 30 because we are strong after our 30s. We maybe lose some explosivity, but we are strong. We have the experience, and we are getting always for. So I think it will be Brækhus this night.
Well, listen, we are running out of time. I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you want to share your social media with the people, if you like, if not,
If you want to find me, you can find me. I'm not a social media person, so.
but definitely, guys, tune in to that fight between her and Oshae Jones. We hope it happens soon, and I'd love to have you back sooner than later. It was my pleasure, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.